These are the minor seventh type chords on the 1, 2, 3, 5 string family in the key of E. We'll start out with root 7, 3rd, 5th, E, D, G, and B. Inversion, G, E, B, and D. Inversion, next inversion, second inversion, B, G, D, and E. And finally, the third inversion with the seventh in the bass, which would be D, B, E, and G. And also down here, of course. Okay, so beginning here, we'll go in the higher direction. So we can start out by taking the G to the A. Okay, and from here we can also move the soprano voiced B to C sharp is fine. Okay. Additionally, we can start to move the tenor voice. E, F sharp, G, and B, moving the top voice to D. E, F sharp, G, and D, and then the top voice to C sharp, F sharp, G, E, F sharp, G, and C sharp. Also a sort of a double move, E, D, A, and C sharp. Moving downwards, just moving the alto voice to F sharp, E, D, F sharp, and B, moving to A. It's kind of like a D over E. Put the G back in the alto voice, E, D, G, and A. Now moving backwards, this is E, D, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, and G. Middle voice, moving to C sharp, E, C sharp, F sharp, and G. And of course moving the the tenor voice to B, E, B, F sharp, and G. And maybe the top voice now to E as well, so that's fine. We can move, we can get E, B, F sharp, and A. And even a straight minor seventh. So we can do E, B, D, and G, and maybe move the top voice. Moving ahead, now we can go to F sharp and even do F sharp, E, G, and B, and move the top voice to A, and also F sharp, D, E, and A, and move the alto voice to a G, which is fine. Sounds nice there. Works really nicely. Additionally, the F sharp can go forward like a G major 7, F sharp, G, A, and D, F sharp, G, A, and E, moving the top voice, or just an E minor on top, or a G major on top. So F sharp, G, B, and E with some variants, taking the middle voice to an A, fifths on top, fourths, G, A, and D on top of F sharp. Now moving to a G. This was the G, E, B, and D. We can take the top voice to an F sharp. That's nice, it works well. Top voice to a C sharp as well. Also G, E, F sharp, and B, and then the alto voice to an A. So really anything that's G major 7 in character can also work here. So, you know, G, D, A, and E, for example, and then moving the bass down to F sharp will work, and it'll have that, you know, that E minor 7 kind of sound. Moving ahead then from a G. So from this sort of sound, G, A, B, and E, G, A, B, and D as well, and G, A, B, and F sharp. All has the sound. has that sound to it, the E minor 7 type sound. Moving ahead to an A, almost like an A 7 with a suspended sound. A, G, D, and F sharp. And also the E on top. It should also be noted that you can go backwards with this sort of a sound, just like we did on the major 7. So if we go back to the major 7 sound, F sharp, D, E, and B, sounds like an E major 7, playing that up to A, and now it sounds like an E minor 7, which would be A, F sharp, G, and D, and then you can put an E on top. So they all have that kind of a sound. B, G, A, and D. Top voice moving to F sharp. So that's maybe the middle voice, the alto voice, going to C sharp. B, G, C sharp, and D to get a 6th, and then going back to A, and then maybe the top voice going to E itself. So any of those sounds. Now if we move the A up to B, we have a G major 7, B, G, D, and F sharp. Top voice moving to E. Top voice moving to A. You can hear all the different colors there. So that's nice. Also, the B minor 7 works. B, A, D, and F sharp. And a B, sort of a 11th, B, A, D, and E. All good. And a suspended sound, B, A, E, and F sharp. All very nice E minor type sounds. They all have the sound. Moving forward from the B, we can use a C sharp or a D, but I'll go to the D on this to show the basic ones that go on the 7th. This is the D, B, E, and G. So the standard inversion. I move the top voice down to F sharp. Now I can move the alto voice to C sharp. So we get this kind of rule of the fifths. This voicing G, E, F sharp, and B with a D on top. We can now do on D. D, B, C sharp, and F sharp with an A. And we can hear that. It's a nice embellishment. And that all works off this E minor 7. Move the alto to F sharp, and we have a G major 7 proper. That's nice. The C sharp can also work here. In other words, we can kind of use that as a passing chord. C sharp, A, B, and E. And maybe, the D inside is a passing chord. That's fine. It works okay. We can take the from this chord, take the alto up from F sharp, take the soprano to A, so kind of a B minor 7 proper. So it's D, B, F sharp, and A, and we can move the tenor alto voice to G. So that's kind of a sort of a variation on a G major and a B minor over the E, and it gives it that sound, that E minor 7. And we're, of course, returning home to an E minor 7. Also on the D, these sorts of sounds, D, E, F sharp, and B, again thinking in terms of B minor and D major as a passing chord. So yeah, get D, E, F sharp, and C sharp. You know these. That works fine there. So that gives you just some of the essential basic possibilities of an E minor 7th type chord, and this is on 1, 2, 3, 5 string family in the key of E, of course.